Welcome back everybody to the channel. We are back with another match reaction after our great win against Swansea last night away at Swansea City Stadium. SwanseaCity.com Stadium. Bit of a weird name for stadium, hang on. But I hope you're all having a great evening. Hope everyone enjoyed the game and the watch along last night. Cheers everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. But yeah, we're going to go click straight into it with what a game it was away from Loftus Road. Playing in Swansea. So yeah, where to start off? Bit of a weird one, obviously, because I think everyone is aware that when we play Swansea, it becomes a bit of a, what's the word? A difficult, weird scenario where everyone is used to Swansea being a very possession side. So, you know, it's kind of one of them things where when you go into a game like this, especially on a rainy day in Swansea, on a Wednesday night, wherever it is, it can be really difficult at times to beat them. But Swansea, I don't think, are the best at the moment with the manager they have. I think for us, we needed a result just because of where Mill result, really. And that's where we went in and did what we needed to do, get the 3 points. It should have been more than 1-0, but we played brilliantly. I don't think it was one of the best games we've played, but I think for player-wise, we did really well in winning the ball back from Swansea and getting up there. I wouldn't say we put pressure on them like we usually do in the first half, but as we was away, I would say we did all right. You know, we didn't do the best, but we did all right. But looking at this here, we'll go through the comments. Foley says, hey DB, how are you, Foley? Hope you're doing good. We actually played well last night as well, deserved 3 points. Yep. Watch along was good. I had 7 viewers at one point. It did. I know it killed it for a Wednesday night, I tell you that. We do have the best away record for a long time. We have, so yeah. But where are we? So yeah, as you can probably be aware, Burrell was the goal scorer in the 18th minute. Now, during the goal, obviously, it was very mixed for, obviously, and I wouldn't say end to end because Swansea were attacking, but they didn't really have any shots or anything like that, but they did get the ball in our box. Majority for us, we were attacking in their half, in their box, and getting a couple of shots on the road. So yeah, let's start off with the goal with Burrell. Now it was a corner, I think it started off with, where if I remember, where they're about to counter attack, or no, sorry, someone lost the ball. I can't remember who lost the ball now. I think it was I genuinely can't remember who lost the ball, but someone lost the ball, I know that. And then Madsen came back and won it back, and then shifted it off to Cook, and then went to Sato. Sato saw Isaac Hayden. Hayden did a nice little dimp into the box for the assist to a Burrell goal. So yeah, Burrell getting the goal. I think we're starting to see the best of Burrell. He looks really good up front, but I would personally still think he would either be better on the wing or just behind Kone. And this is the thing, I've started to notice why Kone hasn't really been scoring that much lately, is because we're not playing him up front. We're playing him more behind the striker, we are. I don't think we're playing him as two up front. I think everyone can see that. And I think Kone would be better as a player up front on his own, and we would have more better chance. If you saw it yesterday when Chair came on, he was playing more 4-2-3-1 physically instead of a 4-4-2, where Chair came on, you had your wingers in Chair, and you had Kone, or who is it, Frey, I can't remember who it was up front, but Chair obviously would be that free role in midfield, you know, kind of player, which he did really well, I think, when he came on. I know there's a lot of criticism with Chair at the moment, but I think he did really well for coming on for what he did. Obviously, he had a shot on goal, had an opportunity, but he wasn't the best at finishing it. So yeah, but going on from the start of the game, with Burrell, obviously that was the main thing. Obviously, we had a couple of other opportunities with Steve Cook, and I think it was Madsen as well with a nice little shot on goal as well. He was very unlucky. But yeah, after that, second half, the first half after that was pretty much all Swansea after our goal. They did get a red card, Swansea did. But I thought that was very unfair. I'll be honest. I know it's sad to say for a QPR fan, but I don't think it was a red card. I think more of a yellow, just because looking at it, the linesman's got to do a better job with what he was looking at. At the end of the day, Cook started it, wound him up, and obviously the player for Swansea obviously reacted to it, which is expected. But I think the headbutt thing was a bit of a. They both, in my opinion, went head forwards together, and obviously Cook did more of the dramatic drop on the ground stuff and all of that. So, I think, like I said, reffing and linesmen's in the Championship need to be a bit better with the calls they've done. And, that changed the game, I would say. Now, obviously, like you said, what Foley's saying right now, obviously, it all comes down to football. It's what happens depending on who the player is. For me, it's gonna happen. When you're trying to win the game, it's that thing. But as a football fan, I hate to see it because you want to see a really good game, and obviously that red card did change the game a little bit. For us, our sake, we had in the second half really big momentums at the start and in the middle. They were pretty much right at the end. Swansea were the game, just pushing and pushing and pushing for that goal, and they almost did. They almost got the goal. Almost with who was it? I believe. Let's just go into key events here if I can find it. I genuinely can't find it now. Fair enough. Right, here we go. So it was Zan Vipotnik who took the shot, and basically great save by Nardi. That was pretty much it, really. So Nardi did great in goal, in my opinion, yesterday. Showed us what he could do. He did it at Millwall as well, showed us what he can do, with some saves. But we got a clean sheet away, we got the 3 points, we pushed up the table. And that's pretty much all we can say, really, on that game. There wasn't amazing events, but it was what we needed away. It was a game that I predicted I thought was going to be a struggle. I didn't think it was going to be a massive result away. But we did what we did, and we came back with the 3 points. Let's go straight into the team ratings, because obviously this isn't me rating the team. This is obviously some next stats, which I think are bullshit. But let's go with first, obviously with man of the match, Madsen. Madsen did get named man of the match, it looks like, and I would fully agree with that. I would, unless it would be Burrell possibly, but I think Madsen deserves it. Madsen, since the last game last season, I think Julian obviously has put him in a way where in a position where he's used to, where obviously with Marty, he had more faith in field than Madsen, and obviously I think just Madsen, the way the playing style was for Marty, wasn't suiting him. Now, I personally think if Julian wanted to put Madsen more of an attacking threat, I think he would do bloody brilliantly, honestly. I think we might see a couple of good goals from him. I do. But I think he's doing bloody brilliantly in that midfield, being either a box-to-box player, deep line playmaker, whatever it is. He's doing a smashing job with Julian. Julian's done a great job with him, and hopefully we can see more of it. Every game pretty much he's been 90 minutes on the pitch, He has been subbed obviously a couple of times, but I would say his energy is a big threat for us, big thing for us, I would say. But going on to other ratings, Nardi got 7.9. I would probably say a 7.5, because he didn't exactly do like anything, because Swansea didn't really have any shots on target, but you know, still got a clean sheet, and I think that's more to do with how great the defense was last night than obviously just Nardi. Dunn and Benge and Cook were all at the back, you know, but I think it technically was a 4-4-2 still, where Field was playing left back, but Dunn got a 7.5 and Benge 7.1, Cook 7.6. I think Cook had a couple of jitters, in my opinion, in the game, where it didn't look too great, but I think he recovered in most of it compared to what obviously the previous game at Millwall, in my opinion. And Benge, mate, I can't speak anything bad about him until he does something bad. You know, I might, you know, a lot of people didn't really hate on him when he got the booking at Oxford to get banned for Bristol, but I think he's just one of these defenders that we've missed so much, man, in defence. You know, he's such an energetic defender, man. So physical, agile, he's just got everything that you'd want. And he brings the ball out of defence into midfield to support everyone going up front. And I feel like that's something we've missed last season. You know, we only had Morrison and pretty much Cook and Ronnie Edwards, obviously, in January. You know, we had Fox at times who did okay, but we never really had that physicality and pace at the back to push more up front, you know. And he chases the ball down when it comes. He never lets a player behind him, you know. And I love it. I think he's a brilliant defender, and it's a great signing for QPR. It's a great signing from Christian Nuri to bring him in on a free, you know. So I think Mbenge, you know, he's just one hell of a player, man. Dunn as well. Dunn did incredible as well yesterday. This is why he's probably getting into the team of Northern Ireland. Oh, sorry, not Northern Ireland. Ireland, Republic of Ireland. Shouldn't say Northern Ireland. That's Paul Smith. My apologies. But yeah, Dunn's smashing it as well, man. And obviously his best mate's Madsen in the club. So you know, they're killing it, man. Matt Dunn's just doing really well, man. Honestly, in defence, you know, he's a proper captain. And he's just doing the job better than what Steve Cook did last season, in my opinion. So yeah, so shout outs to all them two, and plus Cook, I would say. Let me look at the comments quickly. What we missed here. So Foley obviously said we could have scored at least 4. Oh, Scotty M 1894, so much better when Frey ain't on the field this season. I'll be honest with that comment there. Listen, I like Frey, but I just don't think he can play well with Kone. They're both similarities in they're not really pacey, and their shot input is pretty much the same. You know, they're great at shooting and finishing, but when you have two players of the same physicality like that, you're not going to do well. 100% you're not going to do well up front. You need the combination of Burrell and Kone or Burrell and Frey. You know, Frey is great if you're going to get balls in the box for his height. Kone will be great if you're just going to look for quick strikes out of the box, quick 1-2s, a bit of skill, flair, you know, stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't hate Frey, but I get what you're saying. You know, I've said it. It doesn't look like Frey and Kone can play together. So yeah. Cook played it well, to be honest. What that's experience, yeah. That I guess you're talking about that red card, so yeah. But you get what I'm saying. Cook, Nadi definitely more alert lately, yeah. That's because of the defense. I think the defense has just been brilliant. Yeah, Madsen is gotten better every game. He does, man. Honestly, I got nothing negative to say about him. You know, every time he did lose the ball yesterday, he got it back, and he recovered well. Interceptions were brilliant. A little disappointment Vale didn't start. Yeah. The thing with Vale, I think, is that Julian looks at his midfield as who's in form and who's fresh. So Paul Smith is in form, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Smith gets dropped on Saturday at Derby and Harvey Vale plays. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. He's going to definitely put a different team out because he needs the legs. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be too much energy. You know, you need more energy, and some players are going to be tired, and hopefully we see Poku on the bench, you know. And I saw something about Collie, but I'll do that at the end of the video. I will about Collie. So yeah, with Chair behind Kone will be nice. I think it'll be a great combination, to be honest. Chair working with Kone like that. But yeah, let's go on to the midfield. So yeah, Smith got a 6.8, Hayden a 7.8, Field a 7.1, Madsen at 8.2, Sato at 7.5. Smith, the reason I think he got a 6.8 was he didn't really do great. And like I said, and I think a lot of people noticed it when I was saying it on stream, he doesn't do too great in wet weather. You know, when it's a rainy day or anything like that, his pace and his touch gets the best of him. You know, he loses the ball quite easily, and he tends to get agitated and fouls a lot afterwards. After that, so yeah, I would say 6.8. I would probably push it to a 7. But yeah, Smith, rainy days, probably put him on the bench and go from there. But still another great player, I think Smith is. Always have rated him since Mark Warburton days. So yeah, Hayden 7.8. He got the assist, obviously, and I think that's why he got 7.8. But he also killed it. I think right now, if I had to choose between Varane and Hayden, I'd probably choose Hayden. You know. I would probably choose Hayden just because of he seems to be doing more attack Hayden does than Varane, but I like Varane, and you know, I think Varane is one of the best players at the club. But I think right now Hayden probably put before Varane. So yeah, David C says not dropped but rested. Yeah, I'm not saying drop Smith because he's a great player, but I just think Smith on rainy days, he doesn't really perform well, in my opinion. So yeah, Field. I'll be honest, I can see why Field is getting not getting that much game time. You know, I think he had a hell of a great game at left back yesterday, but I think there was times where I don't know. I think Field. I wouldn't say Field's coming to an end of his QPR career, but I would say Field is definitely, probably with the talent that we have, is getting held back a little bit. So yeah, Foley says Burrell has to start against Derby. Either Burrell or you put Chair and Kone. I would say one of them things. So yeah. Madsen, obviously we spoke about Madsen already, man of the match, 8.2, Sato 7.5. First half Sato was very quiet, I would say, even though he helped, was a contributed into the attack of the first goal, but I think we was more attacking on the right hand side than the left, so I think Sato was very quiet. I still think we should try him in the middle, but yeah, I think Sato, we need to bring him more into the game. We need to utilize the left hand side a bit more, depending on obviously the tactics that he's using and what he sees as the opposition's weaknesses on which side. So yeah, I think Sato should have been a bit more forward and gone from there. But 7.5 is still a good rating for a great performance still from him. So yeah, going on to forwards, Kone and Burrell. Kone 7.0, Burrell with the goal with a 6.6. So I'm a bit confused that even though he's got the goal, he got a low rating when I think he did still great job. And Kone again a 7.0. I think it should be switched, in my opinion. I don't think Kone had a great game. In my opinion, I think Kone might need to be rested against Derby and probably give someone else a chance. Probably Burrell and Kone. No, Burrell and Chair or something like that. See what it does. Or Frey and Burrell. See what happens. But I think Kone needs a rest. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying it, but you know, I think until we stop using him as a bloody, sending him out wide and stuff like that, he needs to be put as a forward, not as a centre forward. So yeah, that's my only concern with Kone right now, is the way we're playing him. So I think if we used him like we did against Wrexham, when we played him up front and we put Burrell centre forward, then that would be brilliant for us. But we'll see what happens against Derby, I guess. But obviously, yeah, Burrell, another great performance from Burrell. So yeah, comments. Ryan says, hello mate, how's it going? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Hopefully you enjoyed the game last night and had a good day today. He also says Sato could barely run towards the end, so I assumed he will be rested. He will be. I think he might have a bit of a knock. I think the way I saw it when he was limping, probably tiredness. He wasn't like completely dead, but tiredness, I would say, and probably cramp in the legs, because he has been playing a lot. He has. So I think with Poku back, maybe he might give someone another, give him a rest, go from there. You know, he's done a hell of a great job. So yeah. Foley says Kone will still score about 20 this season. I think 15 to 20 he will score. It's still early days. I still think he is a player that can show his quality in the Championship. I still think he's still brilliant in the Championship. Hopefully he does the same thing as in the Premiership one day. But I personally think right now he's probably in the same category as Ivan Toney in the Championship, in my opinion. You know, he's come and did the same thing as Ivan Toney in League One. But he's still got a lot to prove. So yeah, until I can see a bit of a difference in him with the goal scoring, where he seems more of a present threat, more in the middle than on the wings, then yeah, I would say 15 to 20 goals this season. Going on to the bench, obviously only 4 substitutions were made. Only 3 of them got a rating. Karim Dembele, Jonathan Varane, Ilya Sher, and Michael Frey were all subbed. Karim Dembele 6.7, Jonathan Varane 6.4, Ilya Sher 6.3, and obviously Frey didn't come on till like last 2 minutes, so yeah, he wouldn't have been getting a rating. Ilya Sher, though, out of all the subs, and Dembele, they both looked a little better. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of chances from Dembele that looked like he was gonna thread him through, and he did to Chair once, but he looked a lot better. Dembele did last night, I thought. Jonathan Varane, like I said, I rate Jonathan Varane, but I think he, obviously we'll see what happens Saturday, but I think Hayden would probably get my call on Saturday than Varane, I would say. So yeah, I think Hayden, we'll see how he does with Maddison. He done a great job with Maddison yesterday. So yeah, let's see what he says on Friday or tomorrow with the if he does put out one. I know he didn't put one out for this game that obviously we just played, where usually we have a nice little interview, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So we'll go from there, really. Ryan says main thing is he needs the service, which for last few games he hasn't really got. Vody says you doing a preview vid tomorrow. I will try and get a preview vid out tomorrow, but when it comes down to these 3 games a week, it's bloody rushing home, but getting the right thing. I'll probably set up everything tonight like I did last night, so I can do it today. I'll probably get everything set up. But I will say this right now, obviously I've pre-ordered FM, so if FM does come out in the next 7 minutes, I'd probably go live streaming that right after this. So yeah, I'm pretty looking forward to FM at the moment. So yeah, a lot of, obviously I'm going to be off for 2 weeks now from work, so we're going to probably have a lot of content hopefully this week on probably 2 channels. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but yeah, we'll definitely get a preview video out there tomorrow. I promise you I will now. You know, I'll set up everything tonight and we'll do it at 7 o'clock, 7:30 tomorrow. Getting that done. Obviously, you know, I think you lot are enjoying the videos of QPR. So yeah, not just the watch alongs, but I've obviously gone a bit further on this season. For this season doing it, as well as like because I didn't do it last season, but I thought let's mix it up. Let's go a bit more in depth with the videos of QPR and give you a bit more like. I would do latest news, but I'll be honest, QPR like to keep stuff hidden, so there's no point of saying anything on the news. So yeah, unless we end up like becoming some transfer news and stuff like that, then cool. Then there's that. But going on from that, talking about Collie. So Collie, someone said on Twitter about Collie that obviously it's a bit worrying scenario because we're not using him and we're not sending him out on loan. So I would say probably best thing what he said was on loan. I think I agree with the person who said it on Twitter. He said that Collie obviously is going to be losing a lot of not potential, but a lot of faith in the club if he's not going to be utilised a bit more. So I would say personally we probably might need to send him out on loan to give him some game time, keep him happy. But it's hard when you got players in form, you know, and I don't think he knows where he wants to play Collie yet. I think he's still understanding a bit more about Collie. So yeah, hopefully Collie does get something going. You know, we sent Sutton on loan. Maybe he will go on loan. Alfie Lloyd's gone on loan, but a lot has told me that Alfie Lloyd probably is not looking great for the future. So yeah, but we'll leave it there for tonight. We will. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed the match reaction. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow for the preview show. And we'll leave it there for tonight. Hopefully you all have a great evening. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. And shout out to all of you for tuning in again. We've smashing it again. Ooh, don't forget to hit the like button. I don't know if I said that already. But yeah, we'll catch you lot tomorrow. And be ready for our big game against Derby away. And we'll be live for that as well on Saturday. So yeah, catch you in a bit. Have a good evening. Last day of the week tomorrow. And get the weekend going. Cheers, boys. And girls, if girls are watching as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I might be live in a minute if FM is out. So yeah, catch you in a bit.